This one's going to be real short. We're inside my 2015 Ram 1500, and every once in a while when I make a video that features this truck, it's going to come up that I have manual crank windows, and inevitably someone's going to come into the comments and say to me that it's just easy to convert to power windows. Why don't I just go do that? And this is kind of my response to that. I've mentioned a few times it's actually not that easy, but let's go ahead and go into depth on it. So the power windows, or the window mechanism in general, is on this plastic thing called a carrier. That's the size of the entire door, and it is unique to the manual window ones. So this carrier doesn't swap onto a 4-door, it doesn't swap onto a power window one. This isn't a separate piece, this is molded into the carrier. The doors on a 2-door truck are physically longer front to back than the doors on a 4-door truck because they have to make room for the secondary pillar and for the additional door there. And so the doors are unique, and that means the carrier is unique to the 2-door trucks. They didn't sell a ton of 2-door trucks. They sold a number of them, but they didn't sell a ton of them. So they're not just abundantly at every wrecking yard ready for me to pull off a carrier. And a lot of times when they do get damaged in a collision that totals the entire truck, these get crunched because it's pretty brittle composite. And so there's just not a ton of these with the power window carrier just out there. I can buy a carrier assembly. They're available to buy for like $1,400 or something, which I wouldn't call that super cheap. And so of course I would need to have 2 of those, and I would need to have them in here. And then I would also need to have the door cards, the interior door cards, from a tradesman trim so that it matches my dashboard and everything. It doesn't look completely out of place, but that also has the power window buttons and everything on it, and doesn't have the hole for this thing to go through. So that all ends up being like kind of a lot of parts and pieces. There also is a computer module that tells the truck that it has power windows, because that's also part of it. I don't exactly know what the truck does with the information that it has power windows, just that you do have to tell it to do that in order for the buttons to tell the motor to get into gear. And all of that is just a bunch of extra work and money that I don't need to spend. And also, in the 10 years I've owned this truck, I've never really got a sore butt about the fact that I have to crank a window. It's just not really a deal to me. I hope that clears up that it's not just simply a hop, skip, and a jump, $50 in a day at the wrecking yard to put power windows on these. It really isn't that easy. It's possible, it's possible to put a man on the moon too, but I don't need to.